Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Storytime with Besties. Now, you know next week is a big time. It's St. Patrick's Day. So we figured we'd read you one of the classic St. Patrick's Day story that we love to read to our class.
Yep.
It's about Jamie O'Rourke. He's a crazy man, this Jamie O'Rourke. He
Lazy.
is. And he finds a big potato, or in an Irish tone, a pratty. What's he going to do with it? We don't know. Let's find out. It's called Jamie O'Rourke and the Big Potato, an Irish folktale by Tommy DePaula.
We're going to have some really awesome Irish accents.
We are going to
I'm
try
not so
our
good at
best. Mrs. Lyons can do it. We're going to tell her to persevere.
I don't know.
Jamie
Look at that
O'Rourke
picture. It's so beautiful.
and the Big Potato.
Ireland's a
Tommy
beautiful
DePaula's
Very
place.
good
He
artist.
is a
Yes.
very good artist.
Jamie O'Rourke was the laziest man in all of Ireland. He would do anything to avoid working, especially if it had to do with growing potatoes. I like potatoes. You guys
I
potato
love
fans?
potatoes.
Yeah. Jamie O'Rourke, his wife Eileen would say, will have nothing to eat this winter if you don't go out and dig up the praties. Oh, the saints preserve us, Jamie would whine. Me back's as sore as can be. Sure as I'm telling you, wife, you'll have to dig them up yourself. I'll break in two if I so much as get out of this bed. So Eileen, who had done all the planting and watering and weeding anyhow, would go out to the tiny garden and dig up the smallest potatoes in Ireland. All because Jamie was too lazy to dig a larger garden and had no money to buy good potato seed.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like the little red hen.
It does. You're right.
That was a great accent, by the way.
Yeah, you did a
tried.
good job.
Then poor Eileen wrenched her back and was
Oh.
laid up in bed. Saint Bridget and the Virgin Mary herself must have smiled on Eileen O'Rourke, the village women said. Why, it's the first rest she's had since she married Jamie O'Rourke. With Eileen in bed, Jamie began to worry. No Eileen to dig meant no pratties all winter. No pratties meant no food. Oh, poor me, wailed Jamie. I'll starve to death. I best be going off to church and confess to Father O'Malley. There's no telling when soon death will be knocking on my door. It's a little dramatic.
Yeah.
So even though it was midnight, Jamie set out for the church. He was about halfway down the hill when he heard singing and a tapping sound.
Ooh,
You know
what do you
what
think
that
it
is?
is?
Oh,
Boy.
Good start. Sure, and I wouldn't been knowing, Jamie whispered. But I swear it's a leprechaun. And sure enough, sitting in a circle of ferns in the moonlight was a leprechaun singing and hammering tiny nails into the heels of fairy boots he was making. Jamie knew just what to do. He crept up and grabbed the little man by his coat tails and held firm. Let me go, the leprechaun shouted. Not on your life, Jamie said. Not until you show me where you keep your pot of gold.
Ooh.
Oh, that was
That's
good.
good.
I had trouble
Excellent.
getting started.
Very good.
I thought it was
I
good.
thought it was great.
Now, everyone in Ireland knows that leprechauns make boots and dancing shoes for the fairies,
Yes.
who pay for them with gold. And everyone knows that if you catch a leprechaun, he'll pay for his freedom with his pot of gold. But this leprechaun was cleverer than most. Oh, please, Mr. Mortal Man, he pleaded. I'm just starting out making fairy shoes, and I only have 1 or 2 pieces of gold in my pot. Won't you take a wish instead? Why, what would I wish for? Jamie asked. Me, who's about to die of starvation because my wife is sick in bed, and I can't dig the praties for the winter, and they're such puny praties anyhow. Well, said the leprechaun, reaching into his pocket, you could wish for the biggest pratie in the world. It would last all winter, and you wouldn't have to do anything more than plant this seed, water it, and wait.
Oh, great
Ooh,
idea.
What a great idea. Pretty. I'm going to call him a pretty. I like it.
Oh, I don't know if that's right.
I don't know if that's right, but I like the way it sounds. That sounded wonderful to Jamie. Done, he shouted, and as the leprechaun dropped the seed into Jamie's hand, Jamie let go of his coattails, and off that leprechaun scampered. When Eileen heard what he had done, she was furious. Jamie O'Rourke, you're not only the laziest man in Ireland, but a fool as well.
Oh, no.
Giving up a pot to go for a pretty seed. Well, I'm going to plant this seed and water it, and you'll see, Jamie said, and out he went.
Would you take the gold?
The seed.
I don't know.
I don't know
Gold.
either.
Yeah. Gold sounds better.
Ooh,
And faith Eileen did see. In no time at all, the biggest, finest potato plant had sprouted out of the ground, followed by the potato itself. It was so big it pushed up not only all the dirt in the garden, but the garden shed and the corner of the cottage as well. Well, surely now it's ready to dig, Jamie said proudly.
Check it out.
Look at the
What?
house. It's all crooked from
That
the
is-
humongous potato.
That's awesome.
He hoed all around it, but he couldn't dig that prati out of the ground. He got a beam and a big rock and tried to pry it out. He pushed and he pushed, but it wouldn't budge. As he was pondering what to do, his neighbor passed by on his way to the village. He couldn't believe his eyes. He couldn't wait to tell everyone in the village what he had seen. And before you knew it, the hill up to Jamie's was filled with villagers coming to see the big potato.
So pretty. It is beautiful, isn't it? So green. Where did it come from? They asked. Jamie told them about how that lucky night he had caught the leprechaun, and how smart he had been. Why, anyone could have gotten a pot of gold, he bragged, but the biggest prati in the world, well, that took some doing. However did you outsmart a leprechaun? They all wanted to know at once. Jamie hesitated and scratched his head. We'll help you dig up your prati, Jamie, if you'll tell us how you did it. And they grabbed the shovels and hoes and started to dig. Jamie doesn't really know how he did it. He just kind of happened.
They dug and they pushed and they shoved until the potato flew up out of its hole. It rolled down the hill faster and faster until it reached the bottom, where it bounced up high and came to a stop, wedged between the stone walls on either side of the road. What to do now?
You skipped me.
I did?
Yes, she skipped me.
Oops.
The prati is so big that no one, no cart, nothing can get by it, the constable complained to Father O'Malley. How's a body to get in and out of the village? What shall we do? The villagers wailed. Then they all looked at Jamie and said, It's your prati. You'll have to move it out of our way. Well, Eileen spoke up. There's more than enough prati for everyone. Why don't you all take some? It's a good idea.
Yeah,
Share.
Great idea. Working together. So, the villagers sawed and chopped and carted off huge pieces of potato while Jamie sat on the stone wall and watched.
Oh, he's
Of
so
course.
lazy.
Yeah, of
Can't
course.
help.
He can't help himself.
Sheesh.
All winter long, everyone had potato to eat, and eat, and eat, until no one wanted to see or hear a potato again. Look at their faces.
Could you imagine potato day after day after
I
day?
guess I would get sick of it too.
Yeah, you
Oh,
would.
I wouldn't want to do it.
In the spring, Jamie said, I saved a potato eye for a seed, and it's just about time to plant it. Oh, no, the villagers all cried. If you promise not to plant it, Jamie, we'll promise before St. Patrick and all the saints to see that you and Eileen always have plenty to cook and eat. We don't want another giant prati around here. Jamie smiled and agreed. What a perfect life for a lazy man. And so you see, darling Eileen, Jamie told her, I wasn't such a fool with that leprechaun after all. And Eileen had to admit that Jamie O'Rourke was right.
Oh, what a clever little plan.
Yeah.
All
Worked
the
out.
food they wanted. Oh, and at the very end, who's counting his gold?
He got to keep it.
He kept it. He said he didn't have any. Look at his pot.
He lied.
He's not a good guy.
He like,
He's not a good guy, that
No.
leprechaun. We hope
They're
you enjoyed
mischievous.
that little leprechaun story and our little Irish accents. We hope you have a great week, rest of the week at school, and a happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St.
Bye-bye.
Patrick's Day.
Bye.
Bye.